Welcome. On this channel, I do unscripted, unedited videos about Linux programming and stuff. If you're new to the channel, you probably want to check out video number 1. It explains the format a little bit. And if you just want to catch up with the recent content, video number 23 explains the game project that I am working on now. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to take a first look at threading in C, and I am going to take a little bit of a look at how that incorporates into the main loop of the game engine. So let's jump to into the code project. Oh, you know, the very first thing I'm going to do is jump down into the server, and I'm going to rearrange a little bit of file here. So I want to jump down. Instead of having Space Captain as, we're going to move Space Captain to just game.c. We're going to touch game.h. Jump up a file folder, vim source, main, and instead of Space Captain here, we're going to have game.c. Oops, not game captain. Actually, like always, these are going to stay sorted alphabetically, and we are just going to include game.h here. Okay. So that little bit, before I do that, I'm going to have to keep notes on the side here. I need to tag this as some video release. I'll have to do it after. I don't know what number I'm on. I think I'm on 32. We'll find out. So what I'll do instead is git status, git add these files. Actually, let's make sure it builds. It does. It just has that warning about the unused variable, and I actually, I mean, I know how to get rid of the warning by removing the warning extras, but I don't know what that value is used for. Let me try and play a trick here. Not really a trick. Source. So let's go to game.c. That is the int value dummy right there. And what happens if I just say, I have no idea what, I find Copilot's suggestions frustrating because maybe I can fix the completion so that it's like a different key than tab. I can't use tab, and it turns out I do use it a lot when it's completing something when it's suggesting something stupid every single line. It's kind of frustrating. But what I was thinking is, can I just make dummy equal to 0? Yeah, I bet this works since it auto-completed it and explained why it was doing it. So now it's set but not used. Is a signal handler, so we don't care about this value. Yeah. Quit giving me plus. Well, that does it. So I like that one better because it kind of points out that it's complete nonsense. There we go. But it gets rid of it. I don't know if that's a good idea, but I'm using it because I don't want the warnings. Especially being new, going back to C, helping reduce the amount of noise on the screen, so I can actually see what the error is kind of a big deal for me right now. So, let's so what I did, mostly what I did was rename okay, now the thing that I want to do in this video, the primary thing, is let's take a look at Vim source game. See? Okay. I might describe this backwards from the way that it ends up, but I have a game loop here, and then you also have the loop that is processing requests coming from clients. And I think what's going to happen is this loop has to go run in the background, and then I'll keep the majority, the thing that is kind of the foreground thing will be the thing that's processing, it's the receiving connections and processing them. But in this example, for now, I just need to understand creating a thread and doing something in that thread and having it shut down correctly when we Control-C this thing. And so that's kind of the first goal. So what I'm going to do is, oops, well, we got Chrome anyway, even no matter what I typed. And I think programming C and create thread, programming Linux, programming C. We'll do it that way. I don't want to get no. To create a thread, we use the pthread create function, and let's do this. How do you start threads in plain C? Well, okay, so we know we're going to end up calling pthread create and man pthread create. Let's take a quick read. It's in pthread.h, so that's the first thing. We'll have to add that. It's going to return an int. It's going to take a bunch of crap. Okay, so more than I'm ready to look at it just this minute. Let's split and take source main. And what we need to add is pthread, MNOP. So that gives us pthread. Let's go back. Oh, somebody does give an example. So they're just using thread create. Looks like. What is the -pthread? GCC. Pthread adds support for multi-threading with the threads library, so apparently required. Let's. Of course, it's not complaining yet because we're not actually using it. So, oh, they're saying LP thread. That makes sense to me. -pthread confused me. Split. So in the libs, we are going to need. Does that work? Package thread pthread not found. Perhaps it should. And my guess is it just doesn't need to be, I don't need package config to, well, is it a separate package? I can't imagine that it's a separate package. So let me start by doing this first. Right now it thinks these are empty, so we're falling into that side. That compiles. So there's really two kinds of libs. There's, and that'll obviously just represent okay. Let's take a look at that again. What just happened? So, sanitize, yep, all there. Okay. Now, pthread create. So we're going to create a thread. Now, so that's going to be the return value, obviously. Thread 1, we're passing a struct. Let's take a look at these. So thread 1 is, there's clearly a pthread struct. We'll go compare this to the docs in a second. So clearly there's a pthread struct. We can define thread 1, and we're just going to copy this code for the time being. We're going to have a message for thread 1. I didn't even look at that. I don't know why I compiled it. So return 1 is undeclared. That makes sense. We haven't done it. Okay, error, print message function, undeclared, first use in this function, 37. And what are they doing with print message? Print, oh, I see what they're doing. So, now what could happen, IRET first set but not used on 41. 41 go. Let's puts. No, let's printf that. What I'm actually thinking right now is that what goes up here is the loop. And then what we do here is we just wait for the thread. Yes, how do you wait for a thread? And we join, just what I would expect. The nice thing about, you know, and I'm not a Python programmer, so I don't know the answer to this, but the thing I definitely like about Ruby is its standard libraries just echo the standard C libraries. And so this is exactly the same as I would program it. I mean, the syntax is different. I'm writing in C, not Ruby, but essentially you can just completely tell that the Ruby is just layered over these. And so having it learned it in one space, it is all exactly the same in another. So what I need here is to pthread join thread 1. Does that look right? So thread 1 is the structure that we pass in. I do not know what null is. That's clearly the method or the function that is the execution of the thread. I do not quite know what this is, but it's clearly variables being passed. I mean, it's being used as so clearly the threads are a function that take a void pointer, and this is just showing that we're passing something in as that void pointer and using it is my assumption. I need to, as soon as I do this here. So, okay. If this were to work, well, what we'll do is just unconfuse things for a little bit. That's extra. In fact, normally this code would just be sitting right here. And what I'm going to do is just comment it out for the time being. And now on line 56, I just have a syntax error. And now I have a warning, control reaches end of non-void function. I think it's telling me that, let me see that again. Print message function, control reaches the end of a non-void function, return type. And it's because it's returning a void pointer. I'm assuming. So in theirs, they're not dealing with that. But I'm also clearly not. So those are ints. Okay, so we need to go read about the return values and the error conditions, but thread 1 returns 0. Okay. Why did I get thread 1, thread 1? What was the printf down here? So in here, thread 1 is the message here. Oh, and then I wrote thread 1. So thread 1 returns is the thread 1 returns 0. That's the IRET value, and then the thread 1 being is coming from the thread itself when it runs. So that all seems good. Now the thing I need to understand is what are the parameters being passed and the return values of pthread create. So man pthread create. Pthread create function starts a new thread. In the calling process, the new thread starts execution by invoking start routine, right? Which is the arg is passed as the sole argument. So works well to be passing pointer to a struct, I think. I should be able to pass. So what I was thinking is that this code is up here. And what this void pointer is instead of this message, it is going to end up being a, what is our state called? What kind of, it's going to be, we're going to pass in the state. So it ends up being, right? And what they do is, we can do this in one line. We can say state pointer, pointer. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Now the int handler and the global for int cot are out here. So the way I read this is we started up the function, or the thread. The thread is just going to go into our state loop, where it is or into our game loop, where it is incrementing the state is the only thing it's doing right now. It's printing out the stuff that it sleeps, and then it's going to stay in this loop until int cot is. I'm going to change int cot to sig int cot sig int. I'm going to call it sig int. And I'm going to change it to an int. And I'm going to start it at 0. So this is one of those things I shouldn't do, which is change two things at once. Message went away. Where is message being used? Right here. Okay, so one of these days here I'm risking just like locking everything up. We'll see. I don't think it's now. Okay. Oh, signal is caused by write access. Dead signal. Address sanitizer. Thread 1, return 0. I do not understand that. Maybe I just undo int cot. I'll leave it there, but I still have to delete this. Deadly signal. That's an interesting one. Okay, so thread 1 returns 0. The signal is caught by a write memory access. So thread 1 returns 0. So we got here, we join, just out of curiosity, do we, do we get here? No, Puts does that for me. We do not. We do certainly get here, though. Yes. But we blow up here. So if we come into print message, I'm guessing that we'll see that one. If we do this, everything works fine. Oh, is it the memory access here? I think that's exactly what it is. So let's do, let's CP0 to state, and then let's say ST count, while ST count is less than 10, right? And now I'm no longer trying to reference this value. It still exited right away. But it should have waited 10 seconds. Oh, while... Oh, what is ST count? Let's do it this way. Let's print ST count before entering. It's huge. So CP 0 into the state, and then hex dump state. It is 0. So let's say let's grab this value up here. Oh, I'm doing something wrong with this. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. I'm not actually passing the state. So when I call this, instead of message, I actually want to pass state, which is actually ST. Now, when I run it, there we go. And also notice that it didn't have that seg fault. That is coming from the fact that it's not, you know, memory, or it's, you know, it's not thread allocated memory. And I can figure that out in the next video. So this kind of, I'm actually just gonna leave it exactly like it is, even with these puts in here and everything, because I'm gonna have to pick up in the next video and troubleshoot this thing right here, how to share that variable between the threads, because that is what blew it up, right? So if I do while int cot equals false. Oops. All right, so now if I try... Huh? What did I have in there before? That works. Oh, it was just the fact that I was passing the wrong chunk of memory. That's all it was. Gotcha. Okay, so nothing to figure out. I can just clean this up now. So let's find all these putses. I'm going to leave that one for the time being. That we don't use anymore. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. So I need to probably look at error handling better here. But the way this really works here is So the network loop is basically what goes here. This is where I'm receiving communications, and I'm going to have to, write. I'm receiving in all of the input from the clients. That is being written onto some kind of ordered queue that is being processed by the game loop somehow. I haven't given it any thought, but I will in very near future videos. Although I think before I go too much further, I just need to look at error handling on the thread stuff a little better. Make sure I'm doing that as completely as I need to. So what I'm going to do. Oh, that's interesting that I somehow managed to write that as a file. So rm ig whatever. Okay. Make clean vim get status. So in this video, what I did was add threaded game loop. And we'll call that good. Hop over there, close that. And I will see you in the next video.